What would it be like to live an ecstatic life? What would it be like if every day we lived in delight of being alive? What would it be like if we knew better than to take life and ourselves and our circumstances and the events of this world too seriously? I think it might be a beautiful life. I'm Margaret Miller, and I'm coming to you from the Free to Be Free portal. And this is the energy that we're going to be looking at this week. Gene Key 46, which is the Shadow of Seriousness, the Gift of Delight, and the Siddhi of Ecstasy. And the Sabian Symbols, Virgo 29 through Libra 4. And so looking at this, the shadow of seriousness, and, we think, well, of course we have to take life seriously. Here we are, we have to live it. But this, when we take things too seriously and we forget, and this is sort of how the shadow of seriousness comes about, is that we forget who we really are. We forget that we're in these infinite beings in these physical bodies. We forget that we are connected to all that is, and that we're not isolated and alone here. And so, that forgetting causes this incredible level of seriousness. But once we remember and can remind ourselves, guess what? We're all in this dance together, and we are really, truly um, making it up as we go along in so many ways. And we have, uh, very few things that we actually are in control of, but one of them is our own energy, our own frequency. And when we're in this shadow of seriousness, we are vibrating at a very, very low frequency that causes events and circumstances to be attracted to us that cause us to continue to be more serious because they bring us more of what we don't want. And this is sort of the really beautiful and simple realization that we come to, is that our frequency matters. What if we are able to take a pause and to bring ourselves up into a little bit higher frequency where we can find something, anything in our lives to become delighted about? Then our frequency starts to raise. And as that happens, our physiology begins to change as well. And there's so much information out there, the Heart Math Institute, things about heart coherence and how when we choose love over fear, and not just that's not just a mental concept, but when we actually notice what's happening in our body and take a moment to bring ourselves into a peaceful place, to bring ourselves into a calm space, and to think about something that delights us, to think about something that we're really grateful for, our physiology changes. And I read somewhere a long time ago, and I can't remember, the name of the book or anything, but it was basically the whole book was saying that we as human beings are designed to live in ecstasy. We're designed to live in ecstatic states. And and we know that many times diseases, some cancers, all kinds of different things can go into remission and even sometimes disappear through uh, through this complete change in attitude and surrounding ourselves and committing ourselves to staying in love and staying in high frequencies and staying in delight, staying in the energy of joy and laughter and love. That is one of the most healing things that we can do. And so it kind of makes sense that our bodies are actually designed to be living in ecstatic states. And I love in Richard Rudd's the Gene Keys book, when he's talking about this gene key, he says that we are, that ecstasy is actually the background state of being. When our mind stops and we are relaxed into life, that ecstatic state once again descends on us. And I just really think this is absolutely true and really important for us right now to remember, because I think more than ever we're being asked to make the choice between, am I going to respond to life in love or in fear? And this is always the choice. And more now than ever, so important for us to remember to keep choosing love and to keep, um, recognizing that life is happening for us. Even the things that feel really difficult, life is happening for us, and we haven't seen the end of it yet. And, we can expect and we can imagine the highest possible outcomes for anything in our lives and hold that in our hearts. And it's a really healthy and beautiful thing to do. And it's not spiritual bypassing. It's not, being too airy-fairy. It's taking charge of our own frequency and what we are contributing to the world. And, it doesn't mean that, bad things aren't going on. Of course, we know that there are terrible things happening in the world, but there are also beautiful things happening in the world. And there can be incredibly beautiful things happening on the inside of you, the inside of me, that we can then contribute to the whole that will raise the frequency. So this is, that's the energy insight for this week. And I want to just look really quickly at the Sabian symbols associated with this. So Virgo 29, a seeker after knowledge is reading a sacred text, and he becomes illuminated. Okay, so looking for the wisdom, looking for the beauty, looking for the knowledge that has been left for us to receive, and it's reminding us. I love Dane Rudier's commentary on this. He says, after a crisis, one should seek to realign the renewed consciousness with the primordial revelation of the truth of man. And he's saying that this ancient knowledge is a foundation for change. And in times of crisis, we, when something has broken down, when everything has broken down, we have to dive deep inside and dive deep into the ancient wisdom, so that we don't just recreate a version of the same thing that has just broken, but we're able to instead raise the frequency of it and create something new that's actually sustainable. And I just think it's a really beautiful Sabian symbol. And then Virgo 30, totally intent upon completing an immediate task, a man is deaf to any allurement. And this is saying, this is the total concentration required to reach any spiritual goal. And it's really saying, stay focused on what's important. Stay focused on the knowing of ourselves as these infinite beings of pure light and love, and stay delighted, stay in an ecstatic state as much as possible, so that we can handle these tasks from our heart center, from the true intelligence of our heart, and that we can move forward in a way that is guided by love instead of guided by fear. Then, as we come to the autumn or the September equinox, right? The Libra equinox, autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere, and spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. Libra 1, in a collection of many specimens, a butterfly is displayed, and the beauty of its wings are shown. And this is a symbol of like an immortal archetype, right? Finding an archetype of perfection that we can begin to strive towards, that we can begin to emulate. And the in the original interpretations of this is sort of talking about the Christ light and how we were given these examples throughout human history of divine beings and perfecting what the potential of human consciousness could be. And so I think this is also a beautiful symbol, and it's a beautiful symbol for the equinox when we have the equal days and equal nights, and moving in the northern hemisphere here, moving inwards and moving into the harvest, right? This is the perfection of the the fruits of our labors, and really beginning to receive what has been harvested. And so beautiful symbol for this, for every autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere, and a beautiful symbol for the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. So then Libra 2, the light of the sixth race transformed to the seventh. So this is Libra 2, and it's talking about this humankind's development process, and where in some esoteric senses, we are moving from one form of humanity to a new form of humanity. And this is saying that that's moving upwards in frequency and becoming, becoming more of these beings of light. And so I also believe that that's accomplished, or that is, we move towards that more rapidly, the more that we can stay in delight, and the more that we can recognize this life as something to be ecstatic about, and to be in celebration of, and ourselves and each other and our relationships and our connectedness to the earth. That all of this is incredibly worth celebrating and worth being delighted about. Then Libra 3, the dawn of a new day reveals everything changed. The ever-present possibility of beginning again on a new foundation of values. And this is, something that, has always helped me to come back into delight, when I do go into despair, or, or regret, or worry, or any of those emotions. I recognize that every moment is a potentially new moment, and I can look at things differently. And once I change my perception of things by looking through the eyes of love, or becoming delighted with some aspect of my life, everything changes and life moves more smoothly. And the more that we practice this, the more that we see it actually working in our lives. And, I am here to tell you that when I'm in over seriousness, my life moves miserably. And when I am delighted about life, my life moves very smoothly and very gracefully and graciously. So, and Libra 4, the last one, around a campfire, a group of young people sit in spiritual communion. And this is reminding us that, sometimes we need to connect, and it's really valuable and important to connect with people of like mind and like heart. Sometimes we need that for our inspiration. And the power of that is palpable, right? It is exponential when we come together, even if we're doing it virtually, right? Coming together in meditation, coming together in prayer, coming together in song and dance, or whatever it is, that we can make big changes in the collective energy field by coming together with others, for the purpose of uh, joy, for the purpose of delight, for the purpose of our ecstatic expression in this life. So I hope you found some of this interesting and valuable. That's it from me today, and I hope that you have a delightful and ecstatic week.